Okay, first off, I have removed the blades. As you can see, I'm after putting numbers on these blades. This one here, for instance, number 1. So that there, obviously enough, goes on to number 1 there. So you have to take that off, mount the blade onto that. Take the stickers back off and have the sticker facing up, so it goes on like that. Likewise, number 2 goes onto this one here. Sticker facing up again. Number 3 goes onto that one there, and all the way around till you get 6. The next thing you'll be doing is, this is the compass. You can just unscrew that off, just held on there loosely. This is the back of the hexcopter with the 2 red arms here on the back. Now you have to click these into place, and you feel it clicking into place, but they actually fold up there. You know, don't fold it too far because you might pinch wires in there. The compass, when you put it back on, you'll see the wires has to face forward. So this is the back where the gimbal battery is. So, and the compass goes in that orientation, and it has to be dead square with the hexacopter. Here's the actual pod for the GPS. Doesn't matter what orientation that goes in. You can see that that's just screwed in there into the center of that, and that's screwed in down there. You can get the orientation of it there. Okay. Now I want to run through how to actually turn everything on and show you what steps to take. I forgot to mention I'll be taking the gimbal off to make it easier for transport. It's only held on by 2 screws up underneath here on these clamps, and I have a white bit of tape here. As you can see, I just put it onto the boom. So when you slide that in through this direction, that bit of tape goes flush up against that clamp, and then tighten up the screws. Make sure this clamp, when you do clamp it up, that this boom here is directly facing down. You're also going to have to balance your camera when you put it on the actual gimbal. There's plenty on YouTube how to do that. Basically, it should be up when you have the camera on. It should be able to balance in any position once you leave it in that. I haven't got this balanced at the moment because I have an extra heavy duty cable on this here at the moment, so that's why it's going down like that. But by right, when you have no power on it, it should balance in any position. No matter what way it in, then you have it balanced. Okay. Oh yes, the legs here. These legs fold up. I have actually got a cable tie on it just there. You can probably see it just there, to prevent the actual, when I pull it that there, it prevents the leg from opening up in case you have a heavy landing. When you're flying also, this is for the telemetry, you're better off pulling that out for the aerial to get better reception on the telemetry. And your VTX, which is there, that's the part one, just after getting in, make sure that aerial is facing directly down to get the best. Okay, first things first, turn on your transmitter. Before you turn on the transmitter, make sure all these switches are in the forward position. I have it set so everything is in the forward position. Just to make sure before you turn it on, put them all in the forward position. Are you ready to transmit? Yes. You need to pull down the throttle, obviously enough, and now that's the transmitter is on. Now the next thing you can put on is your receiver. Quite simple enough. I can just try and do this with one hand here, but I have a little tripod here. All you do in this case is, with the supplied cable, plug in the battery. The battery just sticks onto the tripod, as you can see there. The other end of the cable just plugs in there into the TV screen, as you can see there, or the screen, the monitor. The other one there is one I have an extra spare one if you wanted to use the goggles, which I explained on the eBay, if you wanted them with their optional extra. Then you have the cable running up along here. You got 2 connections going into this is your receiver for your video. So you got 2 connections going into that. You got your power one there and your video connection there. This extends up and down, obviously enough, and I left these Velcro cable holders on it there. Make sure when you do have it extended that these are pushed up all the way, and try if you can just to leave a little bit of slack in them cables, because if one of them breaks when you're flying, you're going to lose your video. At the moment I have it set to 13. It's quite simply enough to press these buttons up and down to change what channel you're on, and the same your video transmitter. Buttons on that to change the signal. At the moment both of us on 13. You might want to experiment with different channels. You might get better range, I believe, on channel 32. You can try that yourself. Right, so you got the transmitter on, you got your screen on, and your receiver powered up. Now you power up your hexacopter. Just put this on. There you go. Here now, battery's running low on the camera. Typical. Okay, what I do with this is, the first thing I do is plug in this with this wire here. I'll push this out of the way so you can see better. That's for your camera gimbal. And you just let that boot up there for a second. You see it flashing. Now she's twitching like that at the moment because it's not getting enough power. And then when you plug in, this is your batteries then for your actual. Let that plug in there and then let it settle for a second. See how booting up there now. And there you go. Now I have the camera turned off at the moment. Now I've only connected up one battery. You can connect up two when you're actually flying it. Well, I've already connected up here one just to demonstrate it actually working. So now we got the powered up, the hexacopter powered up, and the actual gimbal powered up. And as you can see there now, she's transmitting to the TV screen. One thing to note, if you see here, now she's just after picking up 6 satellites even though I'm inside. Make sure you don't go into light or any mission unless you have a lot of satellites. Now she's after going up to 8 satellites. You're better off leaving outside before you go, leave it say for a few minutes on the ground, powered up by itself, so it can pick up all the satellites. Now that's really it. Now I'll just show you the buttons on this now. First, the way I have this set is, I'll get this around here now, so it's a bit awkward. This button here, right there, is for the different modes. At the moment it's stabilized mode, then lighter mode, and then I have it also lighter mode. There's 3 switches. So you can have that as stabilized, then lighter, which means it will lock in the position it is in the air, and you can have the next switch then to auto. You can program that what way you want. Now if anything happens, all you have to do is flick this switch here, and that will return to launch. Now you have to program that into the thing so it won't fly back to me here in Ireland. And for controlling the actual camera position is this one here. And you can see the camera going up and down there as I move that. Now that's very accurate. When you have that in the center, that is exactly level. When you have that all the way down, that goes down to exactly 90 degrees. You might have to calibrate it a bit more with your camera. Okay, I'll give you a brief overview of the mission planner. I've already given you the one I'm using. One thing I mentioned as well, before each flight I like to make sure the hexacopter is balanced. So how I do that is when not everything is on it, the batteries are on it and what have you, all these batteries here should be more or less dead central is the way I have it. When everything is all the arms is extended, I lift up the hexacopter by the arms underneath. Be careful of the leads underneath there, you don't damage the leads obviously enough. And when you lift that helicopter up, it should sit dead level. If it's tilting forward, move these batteries slightly back. If it's tilting the other way, move the batteries slightly forward. Now I have the camera underneath and I have the batteries set on this, on my camera that is, so everything is dead center, it balances perfectly. So if you like to make sure your batteries are dead center when you're setting it up originally and you put your camera on it and you find it's tilting forward, just move the gimbal back a little bit. Or vice versa, or you can actually move the batteries whichever way you want, but as I said I have it set on this, so when my camera is on and these batteries are dead level, dead center in the actual hexacopter, everything is balanced perfectly. What happens there is it puts more strain on the flight controller and it'll put more strain on say the battery or the motors in the front as opposed to the motors on the rear. Now I'll show you now how to see a quick way. I usually use spirit level on it to get these off there for building sites. But another way you can do it is, I'll show you this now. If you go into a mission planner, now I have this plugged in. Don't plug that in unless you have the telemetry, that is, unless you have the aerial connected so you can do damage to it. The same goes for any of these transmitters or your receiver here. Make sure before you power up that you have your aerials in. Right, so that's plugged in there now. and you'll still have to program this on. I have mine as COM3, and your guard rate is 5,700. Sorry, 57,600, right? So I'll just go and connect here now. She's connecting up. Done. Okay, she's connecting up, and as you can see now, here's actually me in the house here at the moment, and it is, I'm down on this side of the house, which is correct, and it's facing forward. You see the red line there, so it actually shows you how accurate it's facing forward. You can't see my car there on the actual photograph. But anyway, and this here is how I balance it as well. If you don't want to buy one of these, I just find that handy, because sometimes I don't have my laptop with me. But as you can see there, if I move the hexacopter forward and backwards there now, that's doing that live. Now that's doing that through your telemetry here. That's transmitting to this here, and that's why you're able to see live, so you don't have to plug a cable in. So when you lift the hexacopter up, and that's say like that, say move forward like that, which is me tilting that forward, you know it's not balanced when you're lifting it up by the two arms, like I explained there earlier. When it's balanced, that there is dead level. You can see now that's actually tilted a bit to the right. I'm sure it's not level on the counter here. Now I want to explain something to you quickly. Config tuning. Initial setup. Sorry, initial setup. I'll go into mandatory hardware and flight modes, and this will explain the flight modes. You can probably see there, stabilize is that one there. The next one is lighter, and the next one is lighter. Now, as I explained to you, this is to do with this switch here on the far side, your flight mode switch. Is a 3-position switch. I'll just do that there, right? So if I flick that switch there, you can see which one I'm flicking. Right, that's after going into lighter. Flick it again, it's going into lighter. Right, so I've just flicked that all the way back, it's going to stabilize. Flick it again, lighter, lighter. Now you can program them what way you want. I recommend when you get used to it, if you want to do a mission, is have it in stabilize. So when you take off, it's in stabilize mode. Then flick it into lighter. As I said, make sure you have GPS satellite lock. And then when you're ready to do a mission, have this here programmed to do auto. You have to do a bit of research on this yourself. Say auto. Where's auto on this? Auto. There you go. And then save modes, and it will save it to the hexacopter. Now on your fail-safe switch, as I said, is this one here. Now if you can see that there, that's actually after changing now to return to launch. If I flick that switch again. So basically, if there's any problem whatsoever and you find is that you're going out of range or something's after happening, just flick that switch and that'll go and return to launch. But as I said, you're going to have to tell it where it is home when you use that. Obviously, no, because you're not going to be able to fly whatever 5,000 miles back to here. So when you get this, you'll be able to program all that yourself. I think that's really it. There's your buzzer there is for the alarm. She's on blue there at the moment. When that starts flashing, your batteries are running a little bit low. You still got a bit left in them, but then the alarm will sound, and then when it gets really bad, then the alarm will get louder. So you got plenty of time on it. There's a timer on this transmitter. You can program that what way you want yourself. That's it. The legs are going to be taken off. Oh, I want to do one thing more. How to turn on your lights is simple enough. There's a balancing lead on these batteries, and there's the big balancing lead for them batteries there. You'll be using that with your charger. But if you look at this balancing lead on the gimbal battery I use, you just simply plug in that there into the balancing lead. Black wire goes to the black wire. Simple enough. And if I can try and do this with one hand and demonstrate it coming on. Not that easy. There you go. Bang. Okay, there's all the lights lighting up, and I don't think it showed in the pictures, but there's actually lights on the edges of the arms as well. That's it. Best of luck to it. I'd like to see some videos that you do from it. So let me know and send me an email on how you get on, and maybe give me a link to a video that you might do on it. God bless. Bye for now.